The longer I'm a Star Wars fan, the more I truly believe in my heart that the Rebels succeeded not because the Imperials were a little stupid, and don't get me wrong, they kind of are, but things just happen to have that D&D perk of luck. Let me explain. All right, guys, Brent here back to cover all things Marvel, DC, Lord of the Rings, anime, gaming, Star Wars, and more. This time, Bad Batch, Season 3, Episode 13 in the Reach. And to explain my further point, they just seem to get things right when everything should go wrong. The matter of milliseconds between attaching and jumping into hyperspace with hoping and praying that those locks attached onto the Imperial ship as they're going to Tantus, my goodness, that is the tightest of windows. And I don't care how brave of a soldier you are, even though this is Clone Force 99, we're talking about the one and only Bad Batch. I would be, just to put things into certain perspective, be a little bit puckered, if you catch what I'm saying here. I would be a little bit tight about this situation. Pause if needed, but being able to execute the plan the way they did, the way that Omega is slowly becoming this leader for these kids, giving them hope, this ideology, this belief that they can get things done. It's touching to see on her part. But at the same time, my God, is it so depressing to see? It's like, I don't care who you are individualistically or group wise, being able to be someone who can sleep comfortably at night, knowing that you are using children as science experiments or just a part of a larger scheme, and that you believe that their situation is even too good for them when all they have is the clothes on their back, these boring games, and each other. But at the same time, believing that their form of life is just too high, their quality of life is too good, what they have at this moment in time, but at still time not being evil enough or intelligent enough to be like, hey, maybe we should have put a mic or a camera directly under the table where they're gonna be hanging out. I'm just saying, such common sense things. If you're going to be evil and have this giant cocoon, the center of your base is where all your experiment is, where only the highest people with authentication can get in, and it's super hard to get out, and you have them on 24-hour surveillance just from being watched from the outside. Why wouldn't you go the just little extra mile to put a camera in? Was that 20 extra bucks just too much for you? Was the Empire just that cheap that they couldn't go for the camera here? But no, because of plot and for the sake of convenience and how we have things set up, the Empire seems to not have any sensors attached for the happenstance of we don't think anyone would try and break through our walls to climb out of here, as opposed to like charging headfirst through the one way in, one way out tunnel. The happenstance that they were too cheap to hire, somebody or something to install, cameras, mics, anything under the table to thwart their plans. Just for the happenstance that the one captain that they put in charge of the Imperial base that they have floating outside Coruscant is someone, the lieutenant, apologies, that they left out there was not high enough on the food chain that Rampart was able to show up and then be able to pull and flex on him the way that he was with the lies that he had and the intelligence in which he exerted himself. He had that persuasion check, he had that charisma check, he had that buff, and he went in and annihilated this other guy's confidence to the point that he was like, I'm only going to come back later once I've got a little bit more information to make sure that everything doesn't seem right, because this didn't sit well with him. Because, anytime you have a bad guy who takes that verbal L, they're always like, oh, I'm going to get you and I'm going to come back and do all these things. And now we have Rampart, who's more or less was trying to be like, screw the plan, I'm out, we're done, everything's over. And Hunter, being the person that he is with the intelligence that he has, that ability to have that super heightened senses, knows, hey, I can trust my brother. He can get this mission done. He can execute what needs to be done. And then we can, through that last happenstance millisecond, be able to attach on. What I believe next week is going to be is more of the usual Bad Batch Clone Force 99 shenanigans. Omega is going to lead a jailbreak. They are going to arrive on Tantus. Everyone's paths will either intersect, and we're going to start losing characters. Because let's be real here. Let's be the adults in the room. Who's surviving from this? Who's going to be living from this? We don't know. We haven't even seen Tech pop up, and I believe Tech is still that evil clone that was the one who originally and initially captured Omega and led that charge there because he was intelligent enough. He knew their plans inside and out. He knew how they'd operate. He knew where they'd strike. And he was precise with how he got those missions done. But also, now we have to see that either everyone's going to cross and intersect directly on the base, which will lead to probably mass casualties because Tantus is a one way in and one way out prison. Sure, we've had our one jailbreak. Congratulations. Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice. The Empire only has that happen with Death Stars. I don't really have another rhyme for it. I don't have another reason for it. But then we also have to get through and see that with Omega leading this breakout, she could also have this breakout where Hunter, Wrecker, Echo, and Crosshair actually do infiltrate the innermost layer, but she's gone. She's led the kids out through a whole nother moment, through a whole other escape route, and things get dicey. And then, next you know, Hunter, Wrecker, Echo, and Crosshair are completely at the mercy of the Empire. And just so we're clear, Rampart will betray them. Excuse me, pardon me. It's just a matter of when. This dude is a snake oil salesman, and he's going to do everything he can to get back in the Empire's good graces and put himself back in Hemlock's good side, Palpatine's good side, Governor Tarkin. He is going to kiss toes, kiss butts, whatever you want to say. His lips are going to be places that they honestly should not be, but as an Imperial scum that he is, things are going to get dicey. What are your thoughts? What are your feelings? What are your opinions on the Bad Batch? We had it covered in our live stream where we covered the Bad Batch and X-Men 97, which you guys are always more welcome to enjoy, as well as hitting that lovely red subscribe button. Following us, we'll have X-Men 97 covered in its full entirety with the people whose opinion you care about, Tony and Will, tomorrow, as well as we will have the Rebel Moon Part 2. We're going to do a live stream on Friday, I believe. And then Saturday, Kaiju number 8. Tons of great content coming for you guys this week. Thank you so much for checking out Geek Variants, and may the Force be with you always.